34, Plato died of an overdose of pills, officially listed as suicide. But a controversial new book called Dana Plato's Last Breath questions that death and points a finger at Plato's ex-mother-in-law, and now she's ready to fight it out in court. The book even comes with a CD, including one of Plato's last conversations before she died and an emotional call from her fiancé in the hospital. Here's part of it.
Thank you so much, Lord. You know, you're my chance. You are. I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I will never, ever, ever let you down. I'll always be there for you.
This is Robert. Dana died. What are you talking about? I don't know what happened. I woke up, but she wasn't breathing.
With us live, Plato's ex-mother-in-law, Joni Richardson. Also with us, Shane Bugbee and his wife, Amy Bugbee. They authored this book, Dana Plato's Last Breath. Let me go to you first. Joni Richardson, I want to thank you for being with me. You've been through a lot. You were very close with Miss Plato. You lived with her for years. You're angry about the book. They are making a buck off your daughter-in-law's death. What do you say about that?
I'm very angry, and I've been waiting for my chance to be able to confront this gentleman in regards to that book. My son and I went to New York hoping that we were going to get to see him, but it happened that we didn't get to. But the book was really just the last straw. No one can imagine what my grandson has been through for 14 years anyway before this all even happened. And then this book thing just did it. But what started it was when she died May the 8th. My grandson was waiting, he was ecstatic waiting for her to come. She was coming to Tulsa.
It was for Mother's Day, right?
Right. He had her Mother's Day gift and was all ready. So we waited until 10 o'clock that night, and we never heard anything. So we called, my grandson called, and only to find out she had died. And that was just devastating for him.
Oh, I just can't even imagine what he went through. And now this book, Dana Plato's Last Breath, caught on tape. What about the book is making you consider legal action?
Well, first of all, is about me being a suspect. This gentleman doesn't even know me. Bugsby doesn't even know me. He doesn't know anything about me. And why does he have the right to say something like that in a book about me, that I'm a suspect?
Well, Joni, hold on just a moment. Shane Bugbee, why do you have the right to name her as a suspect? She was in Tulsa at the time Dana Plato died.
What was that? She was what?
She was not even near Dana Plato at the time of her death.
Well, we don't, I mean, again, she's not the only person that we ask questions about. We've asked questions about anyone that had anything to do with Dana's last couple of weeks, and Joni did help a known addict score her drug of choice. And that's just something I asked the
You
question
mean the
of.
Valium?
Yeah, I mean, well, Dana had overdosed. Dana had overdosed on Valium 4 separate times in her life.
Pardon me. Wait, excuse me.
Go ahead,
I am not a doctor. I did not prescribe the drugs for her, and I don't appreciate that accusation. I had nothing to do with that.
I asked about it in the book. I never accused you.
No one has accused you of anything in the book. Questions were raised regarding...
Oh, well, I think as a label as a suspect, I think that's a pretty harsh statement for someone that you don't even know.
Well, Joni, you also say that some of these pictures, these X-rated pictures of Dana Plato, I might add, are not even her.
Yes, so why did you put him in there? Why did you put such a thing?
Read the book.
He's got a son coming up. Don't you understand that? Do you have any children? I just wonder if you have any children coming up.
She had a
If you're going to
son.
keep interrupting me, I'm not going to get a word in edgewise. It's not only a book, it's a webpage, DanaPlatoCult.com. People can go there and check it out themselves. She wasn't a saint. I mean, you have a lot of things to explain to her. Why was she in pornography? There's a lot of things.
She had a son when she committed armed robbery. She had a son when she made an X-rated movie. She had a son when she forged prescriptions.
Well, I have a question to Shane and Amy. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Shane and Amy, you put a lot of photos in here, and I'm wondering, did you get legal rights for the photos before you published them?
Well, I did. I'm a responsible publisher. I did go to a lawyer with the book, and they said I have every right to do what I'm doing because it's a first-hand account. Now, wait 1 second. I want to ask Joni one question. Does she think Dana Plato committed suicide?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Right. No, we didn't
whether
only
she did or not. I'm not concerned about that.
But
I
you're
left
not,
that up to
exactly.
that's a coroner's. That was a
That's
coroner's
something you
office.
should be. That's something you should be bothered with your son that has to live with her suicide. I'm trying to ask questions about that.
Shane
You're
Bugby,
not
I've
the
got a
only-
question for you regarding
I
the
can't answer any
CD,
questions, though.
the CD of
Okay.
Dana's last moments.
Okay.
Now, I find that very unusual that her fiance, her boyfriend, was taping her death.
Her fiancé
You know,
was-
some
wait,
people
you're wrong.
might say that's a motive. He made a buck off this, didn't he?
Wait. He did not tape the recording. I taped it. It was on my answer machine, the one call you made. A lot of these recordings were taped with Dana's knowledge. All of them were recorded with Dana's knowledge. Up to that point when those were left on an answer machine. Now, me and Dana were working on a book. That was part of what we were doing together. That's why she was working with me. And I
Why
was
did you
documenting.
decide, Amy Bugby, why did you decide to publish this booklet, so to speak, including naked photos of Dana Plato, suggesting it's a murder, pornography? It's basically a slur on Dana Plato. She's not here to defend herself.
It's not a slur. There's nothing in the book that is not factual. Everything about her life happened, and questions certainly are raised. Questions are raised about Joni's involvement in helping her to get Loratab, a drug that
Joni
when
didn't.
mixed with Valium is poison.
I did not help her to get Loratab. I did not
And
help her.
questions are raised about Robert Menchaca's involvement as well. Yes, he took photos of her when she was blue, according to
And you know
authorities.
what? There's a
Yeah, I'm
question.
looking at a photo on here of her apparently dead. And I'd like to know where you got that photo. It's on page 27.
Here's what I want to... I wonder why the police never contacted me, the last
So,
person...
sir,
who
you're
talked
not
to
going to
Dana
answer
Plato.
about this photo of Miss
Well, the
Plato dead?
Yeah, the photo on page 27?
Yeah.
Now, come on. Does that look like a...
Well, that's what you put Dana's death on top of it. You
I
know
didn't-
what?
no, hold
Forget
on.
about it.
No,
Let me go to Joni Richardson. Joni, I'd like you to have the last word. Do you plan to go to court on this?
Yes, I have already contacted legal counsel Gary Richardson and Ward for counsel because I have had enough of this suspect thing. I had nothing to do with that. My grandson's been through enough. We thought it was the end of it. We thought it had been put to rest. We've been through tons of misery and everything with this child. I had him on suicide watch for 2 days right after his mother's death, and he's been through enough. I've been through enough. My son's been through enough, and we wanted it to cease. We hate to see
Joni,
bloodthirsty...
I want to thank you for being with us, and I wish you the very best of luck.